Hey everybody, it's Dr. Sasheen. Um, I have a series of videos that are coming out in the next few days as I get ready for the soft launch of Life Reimagined, um, piggybacking off the anxiety solution and all the things that we've been talking about protecting our peace. And one of the things that occurred to me today as I was doing some work, especially kind of seeing what the streets are talking about, is that one of the realities that we're running into at this point in our lives, especially Gen X women in this time period, is that for the most part, we're socialized to help people and to be helpful. And even though Gen X has really got a great reputation for being fiercely independent and able to leap tall buildings with a single bound, the reality is that we're also expected to conform. And if you think about the ways in which we were raised, the idea of conformity is less frightening than difference. And though we might have embraced leg warmers and hairspray and lots of interesting trends of the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, the reality is that most of us were socialized, especially little girls, to help. And that help usually came with the understanding that you would do whatever it took to help, no matter what the question was, no matter what the sacrifice needs to be, that you will help and you will help gladly. And if you're not going to help gladly, you're going to help anyway, whether you're glad about it or not. And what that hid was the reality that if you didn't want to help, you were ostracized, you were called the black sheep, you were kind of excommunicated in some ways. If you didn't help in ways that were expected, you were not good enough, you were not fill in the blank. As you think about now and your struggles with potentially figuring out what to do in the next transition, if part of your struggle is trying to figure out who you are, if there's no one that you're supposed to help, that's legitimate. That is a legitimate struggle because so many Gen X women were raised to be helpers. The expectation is that you were going to help your parents, you're going to help your younger siblings, you're eventually going to help your husband, you're going to help your kids. You're a helpmate. Whether you were raised in the church or not, you've heard that term, right? And so as we've gotten to this place in our lives and the world has moved on and time has collapsed so quickly, we realize that that helpmate is just another word for indentured servitude. And we don't have to do that. But then what do you do with the feelings of guilt that come with realizing that you don't want to help? You don't want to have to put your life on hold for the next generation. You don't want to have to stop and stand down, stand to the side for a mate or a family or a job or anything. Like, what do you do with that guilt? What do you do with that feeling? We'll talk about that. But today, I just want to say to you, it is legitimate to be standing in the sea of change that is the Gen X generation right now and going, who am I going to be if I don't want to be a helpmate anymore? Because my socialization, that programming is super strong, right? But for some of us, we begin to wake up and realize that I don't want my whole life to simply be a series of people that I helped along the way to their greatness. I don't want my life to be a series of relationships that are only good because I helped them be great. I don't want that to be the story of my life for the next 30 years, 30 more years that I might have, 40 more years that I might have on the planet. So as you think about yourself today and you feel that check in your gut, that feeling, that anxiety that rises, right? That kind of crawls along you when you start thinking about breaking that narrative, shaking up your world, it's okay. I'm here to validate that you're in the right place. You're feeling legitimate things, and you were programmed and conditioned to believe that helping was the highest thing that you could do in your life. And then when you start thinking about there might be something other than helping, the emotional reaction to that can keep you standing in place. It can keep you anxious, it can keep you not protecting your peace, and it can keep you stuck. Well, I don't want you to be stuck. I want you to get out of your anxiety. So I wrote the anxiety solution. You should pick it up. There's a link in the comments. But more so than just getting out of your anxiety, I want you to think about, how do you really want to live the next 30 as this footnote to somebody else's magnificent story? Or is it time to write your own? Life Reimagined is coming. It's going to be a 1-hour workshop. I'm going to launch it very softly in the next week or so. You'll start to see more videos. But if you're interested in becoming part of that conversation of what my life is going to look like, what can I imagine my life to be as I come out of the transition, I get through menopause, I decide to retire, I decided just to, there's so many decisions that we're making right now. What happens after? If you don't know what could come, how do you aim for anything? That's what Life Reimagined is going to help you do. Figure out what's to come so that you can point yourself in the right direction. It's Dr. Sasheen. Hit like, subscribe, and share the video. Join the conversation, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.